family. We're all seeing the headlines about inflation concern. Today we'll talk about what it means. The U.S. economy's rebound from the pandemic is driving the biggest surge in inflation in nearly 13 years, with consumer prices rising in May by 5% from a year ago. Now, consumers are seeing higher prices for many of their purchases, particularly big ticket items such as vehicles. Prices for used cars and trucks leapt 7.3% from the previous month, driving 1/3 of the rise of the overall index. The indexes for furniture, airline fares, and apparel also rose sharply in May. So let's talk about what inflation actually is, what causes inflation, and what's its impact. First, let's look at the inflation over the last 20 years. As you can see from this chart, 2% is average. So what is inflation? Inflation is defined as the rate at which the cost of a good or service increases. Although prices can fluctuate for a number of reasons, inflation is generally a result of an increase in the supply of money, commonly due to actions taken by the Federal Reserve. In short, as more money becomes available, the purchasing power of a single dollar drops. As the value of currency decreases, the price of goods and services seemingly increase. Well, what causes inflation? Economists distinguish between two types of inflation: demand pull inflation and cost push inflation. Both types of inflation cause an increase in the overall price within an economy. Demand pull inflation occurs when aggregate demand for goods and services in an economy rises more rapidly than an economy's productive capability. Cost push inflation, on the other hand, occurs when prices of production process inputs increase. Rapid wage increases or rising raw material prices are often causes of this type of inflation. The sharp rise in the price of imported oil during the 1970s provides a typical example of cost push inflation. Let's look at inflation's impact. Now, as we mentioned, inflation is a decrease in the purchasing power of currency due to a rise in prices across the economy. Within living memory, the average price of a cup of coffee was a dime. Today, the price is closer to $3. Cash will only lose value, so it is better to get your shopping out of the way and stock up on things that probably won't lose value. For consumers, that means filling up gas tanks, stuffing the freezer, buying shoes in the next size up for the kids, and so on. For businesses, it means making capital investments that, under different circumstances, might be put off until later. Many investors buy gold and other precious metals when inflation takes hold, but these assets' volatility can cancel out the benefits of their insulation from price rises, especially in the short term. Unfortunately, the urge to spend and invest in the face of inflation tends to boost inflation in turn, creating a potentially catastrophic feedback loop. There is some evidence that inflation can push down unemployment. Wages tend to be sticky, meaning that they can change slowly in response to economic shifts. Check out Phillips' curve to learn more about this economic hypothesis. Of course, the Federal Reserve does have a strategy to deal with inflation. The first step in what is expected to be a gradual process of scaling back easy money would be to slow Fed purchases of mortgage and government bonds, something Fed Chairman Jerome Powell said he's not in a hurry to do. Of course, we'll be watching. The next month or two will be revealing. Until we meet next, be well.